If you're looking for a great meal prep recipe this week, I definitely have one for you with this Caprese chicken pasta. First, it's a relatively low-calorie recipe with 478 per serving, but then flavor-wise, that sticky balsamic flavor from the roasted chicken coupled with the cheesy mozzarella and blistered tomato pasta just create a real treat for the palate. So let's almost jump into how to make it. Just real quick announcement first. I know the Super Bowl's today and everyone is generally looking for game day recipes, so for that we posted this super tasty carne asada nacho recipe. Now you will have to subscribe to access it, but if you want it, it's there for you. So with all of that, now let's jump into how to make this Caprese chicken pasta. We're going to want to marinate our chicken first, and it's super easy. We'll take about 1,000 grams of chicken breast, and I'm not flattening them out, I'm just leaving them whole. And then we'll toss in 75 grams of just regular balsamic vinegar. The next thing we'll do is we'll grate in 3 garlic cloves, and you could just mince the garlic if you wanted, but you get a more intense flavor by grating it, and that's what I was going for. Alright, we'll mix this up, and then we'll set this off to the side for a minute and move on to our pasta. To a medium saucepan, we'll cook our pasta as normal. We'll bring water to a boil, and I'm using Banza penne pasta today, but if you wanted to use a different style of pasta, go for it. I'm a big fan of bite-sized pastas, that's why I'm using penne today, and I think this dish works well with bite-sized, but who am I to say you can't use stringy pasta? Go with what your food heart desires. Now after simmering for the recommended time, it's looking like the pasta is cooked al dente, so we'll drain it and then just set it off to the side for a moment. We'll come back to our pasta here shortly. Alright, time to cook our chicken. To a cast iron on medium-high heat, we'll add a little bit of oil, then toss in our marinated chicken breast, and I'm going to wiggle all of mine in here, all 3 of them. Now I'll hit the chicken with 1 teaspoon of salt, and that's going to be on both sides, so we'll use 2 teaspoons total, and then the same amount of black pepper. And for cooking, I would recommend using a cast iron if you can, because it'll give your chicken a better sear than stainless steel, but frankly, what you really want is just any oven-safe pan, because what we'll do is what we typically do, which is sear the chicken on both sides, get some color, and then we're going to toss it in the oven to finish. And you can see I'm seasoning the other side here after flipping. Now I suppose you could cook the chicken entirely in the pan, but you can see that the balsamic is quite sensitive and burns fairly quickly, so we can't leave the chicken in for too long, otherwise our chicken exterior will be burnt. But in any event, we're going to take the remainder of our marinade and we're going to pour that over our chicken like so. And then we'll toss in 75 grams of chicken stock, which is very important because we'll reuse this later. And then bake the chicken until it reaches 165 degrees internally. Alright, chicken's now in the oven, and while that's cooking, let's make our pasta mix. We already cooked the pasta earlier, so that's good, but for the rest of the ingredients, we're going to add in 560 grams of half cherry tomatoes to an oiled cast iron skillet on medium-high heat. We'll hit this with a pinch of salt, and then we'll just let it blister for a second, and again, I'm just looking to blister the tomato, not turn them into a mush paste. I still want to keep the tomatoes whole. We'll add in 3 cloves of minced garlic while that's cooking and stir that in as well. But once the tomatoes are how you like them, turn the heat off. Then toss in 30 to 40 grams of chopped basil and mix that in as well. And you can chop it as roughly or as finely as you like. And finally, we're going to mix in our pasta from earlier. So go ahead and pour all of that in as well and then start mixing that together. Alright, so once that's incorporated how you like it, it's time to almost prep. We got one more thing. Remember that chicken stock from earlier? Yeah, so remove your chicken from your cast iron after the chicken is finished cooking. And pour all of that chicken stock and remaining liquids into a little container or bowl here. There's a ton of flavor in that. I want to reuse it, so don't let this go to waste. Or you can put the sauce back on the heat and let it thicken up a little bit, but I'm cool with the consistency, so let's prep. The first thing we're going to put down is our pasta mix, so let's add a layer of that to the bottom of our pans here. And then let's make a mistake by placing down our chicken because we didn't think in advance properly. Okay, yeah, remove the chicken and get back on track here. On top of the pasta mix, we're going to add in a layer of 100 grams of low moisture mozzarella. And you can grate it if you want, but I just cut mine into these little fine pieces so I can just spread them around a little easier. Okay, now we can add back in our chicken, and then we'll just top our chicken with those remaining pan liquids. And finally, we'll finish all of this off with some chiffonade basil for garnish. Now that's a good looking dish. And because I already had it, it's a, good tasting dish too. So try it out. I think you'll really enjoy it. But anyways, thanks for watching, and of course, we'll be back with more soon.